Welcome, Settlers of Catan friends. In this video, we're going to look at the 3 big mistakes I made in the Catan National Championship Final. We'll analyze where I went wrong and what I should have done instead. This video has over 800,000 views currently at the time of recording. The 2009 Catan Championship winner would eventually go on to win a trip to Mazatlan, Mexico, and in Malta as well. So the prize was literally thousands of dollars. Essentially, 2 experiences of a lifetime are at stake. No sweat, right? Let's dive right in and analyze the mistakes and see if they cost me the championship. You can check out this video on the official Catan YouTube channel, which at the time of recording, previously mentioned, has over 800,000 views. My first mistake is the first placement of my settlement. It's easy to point out after the fact, but the truth is, I missed an opportunity to be a lot stronger on the board. I was clearly way too fixated on the 5 of ore and the 9 of wheat because, let's be honest, the 12 of wood is irrelevant here. On a macro view, the spot isn't terrible. It's decent with good ore and wheat. Hypothetically, I should be able to build cities quicker than the other players. However, what I should have noticed is that there are plenty of good wheat numbers on the table, but you couldn't say the same for the sheep numbers, which are 6, 4, 3, and 2 respectively. I would have been able to grab a good wheat on my second placement. My first road is also questionable. In my mind, at the time, I thought I'd be able to eventually build a settlement on the 6 of sheep, on the 6-5 or 6-11-12. Since the sheep was so scarce on the table, it's almost a given that another player will settle on either the 6-5 or the 6-11-12 location, especially the 6-5. General consensus among professional Catan players is to point your road towards the water and ports, the outside. There's always a bigger risk of being blocked when trying to build inwards versus outwards. What I should have done instead is place my first settlement on the 5, 6, and 12. With only 1 good brick on the board, I could have also considered placing my settlement on the 8 of brick, most likely settling for the 8-4-2 position, but at the end of the day, placing on the 5 of ore over the 8 brick was a better play. Let's listen in on Tim and Chris Broderick, previous USA national champions, who shared their 2 cents on my rookie move.
Sheep or wheat, it depends on what he prioritizes. And the sheep was a better number with the 6 instead of the 9. But you could very easily see him taking the 9-5-11 in this situation. And he does.
It's the 9-5-12 actually. It's a 12 wood. 9-5-12. That's good. That's good locking down. You know, I mean, he's going to have the chance to capitalize this and get good wheat. There's an 8 open. There's a 5 open. There's a 9 open still. So if he can find sheep and wheat in this next settlement, he's going to be in really good shape.
Right. In this situation, I might actually have taken the sheep, though, considering the 8 in the middle of the board is wide open. The 4th position player is not going to use both of their settlements on 1-8.
He can't shut off all of the wheat from you. There's just too much wheat open left on the board. So I agree with you. I would have taken the sheep.
In this situation.
My second mistake was passing the dice when I didn't even roll. Like, what was I thinking? I played a night card, stole from an opponent, then passed the dice without rolling. Not even a second later, after I passed them, I asked for the dice back, and my good French buddy, Mark, didn't want to pass the dice back to me. Now we pulled the tournament organizer, Donna, over to the side to discuss, and this is what happened.
It was blocking 2 people. I understand the blocking.
Sure.
Oh, sorry.
In the early game, it's always best to
Nobody's passed them.
to block
As soon as you pass the dice, you're
the early game resources.
Is that the roll?
That's the roll.
Yeah.
It's all good. Yep, carry on.
So you
If
see
he hadn't
there.
stolen from me, maybe I
Actually
would
missed
think
a
a little
turn.
more charitably about
Yeah,
it.
a very uncommon thing to happen in tournament, but he passed the dice before rolling.
Mark, the white player, has the nerve to steal from me after he pulls a move like that? This was the start of a really bad sequence of events for me. The commentators also caught my third mistake. Now, I'm not making any excuses here. I simply wanted to give the full disclosure that I fell super sick and ill with a stomach bug the night before the championship final, and as a result, I did not sleep whatsoever. I can tell looking back at this championship final video that I look tired as... Also, it took me a lot longer to make decisions, and I remember my mind not being as sharp as it could be. But I digress. Here's my third mistake, pointed out by Tim and Chris here.
You gave up your turn.
Right.
I'd like a chance to get
Unable
that
to
back.
play any cards.
Yeah. It's another 7, and then he just moved it back and stole.
So if you see there, this is a common mistake that people make in tournament play. John got stolen from and just straight up gave him one of his 2 cards,
Yeah.
which pretty much just tells Mark which other of the 2 cards it is. So it was both brick.
Right.
He gave him a brick,
Mine,
and it's
actually.
obvious that they're both brick, which
Now-
is not information that you are forced to give.
I showed my only 2 cards in my hand to Mark, the white player, when he decided to rob me, because I only had 2 bricks in my hand. And at the time I was extremely irritated and frustrated, and this move let the entire table know what I was holding, and it was an extremely crucial mistake that would eventually bite me in the butt down the road. You can tell I got my emotions get the best of me, even if I was trying to stay calm under the pressure here. But here's a lesson I learned. Never, ever assume the players at the table know what you have and what you're holding in your hand. There's a ton of cards going back and forth, and it's a difficult task to remember everyone's cards at any point during the game. And because of my third rookie move and letting the entire table know what I had, Orange player Sarvat needed a brick and stole from me. Even when she claimed she didn't really want to steal from me, I do believe she might have stolen from another player had I not shown the table my other card. Lesson learned, don't ever show your cards. When Mark wiggles at my 2 cards saying he wants a brick, couple things come to mind. Number 1, always hold your cards close to you. That way, the player who's robbing you doesn't have direct access to your cards in arm's reach. You can always shuffle your cards and buy yourself some time to negotiate with the player moving the robber. Number 2, if they are reaching for one of your cards, offer them what they need through a future trade and instill a little fear in them that they might not get the card they want if they steal from you right away. Now, you could be telling the truth or you could be lying about it. It doesn't really matter, as long as you don't get caught lying. And number 3, you gotta always remember to keep your composure. Alright, so at this point, I'm feeling a little down and out for a couple of reasons, but mainly because it doesn't look like the game is going my way until this.
5-port and a 6-port.
What are you offering?
For a sheep?
Not for a sheep. I could do wood.
I'll do a 1-for-1.
Meat for a wood? Yeah, sure.
All right, so that's another classic scenario where Mark is clearly ahead, and Jean offers up a trade and just ignores Mark when he accepts.
At this point in the game, I still remember Mark's controversial move, and so I avoid trading with him and decide to trade with Josef. Also, Josef is clearly in last place at the time of the trade, so I was way better off trading with him over Mark. Now, at this juncture of the game, I'm actually feeling really good about my game. I've got 1 knight card played on the table, but then things started going downhill again. So much so that Sarvad was trying to comfort me by stealing from another player. What a gal. Much respect to her for considering my feelings in such an important game. So here's what transpired. At this exact moment in the game, this is where the momentum shifts. As you can see, Josef trades 2 ores for 1 sheep. It's an extremely terrible value trade, no matter how desperate he was to get some sheep. And then someone proceeds to put a dagger in my heart. I am losing it inside because of the turn of events. As we see here, Josef plays a road building card and settles on the 4-6 to handcuff me and restrict me from building on the stone port. Let's listen to the great commentary on the turn of events.
And that's actually so valuable.
What do you want for that?
See?
I'm going to ask you for 2 cards.
Yeah, she knows that it's
There's
valuable.
Or
If he trades a
Wheat
2
and
ore
ore?
here,
but you're taking my sheep.
A wheat and ore or 2 ore could just
Wheat
launch her
and ore.
straight into a city right here.
Yeah.
No, I
game.
got enough
Yeah.
wheat, really.
You have the Wheat Harbor, don't you?
Yeah.
Wow. 2 ore there.
so this is the situation
Oh,
that
guys,
Joseph
the
finds
Harbors are
himself
so
in.
long.
Oh,
It actually was a year 20. Huh?
oh, you're plenty. That's what he was sitting on this whole thing. That makes sense.
So it's a road
Running out
settlement.
of
Okay.
options here.
So he plays the year 20 in order to road settle, just to get a point on the board.
Oh,
no, it's a road build.
Road build, not a year
Road
plenty.
build.
Road build, and he gets to the 6-4.
Dun, dun, dun.
It's a great
Wow,
spot.
it cuts off Jean.
Really cuts off Jean.
Wow.
I had it
That's
so wrong,
really
I was
tough.
gonna like try and get.
As the game progresses, it looks more and more bleak for me. And then we get to see the clinching move. Let's check it out.
Because now he's just pigeonholed into, he can't settle anymore.
Right.
He has a 3-for-1, but he's not producing sheep. And how is he going to get cards in order to get it off of his spot? Yeah, he needs to compete for largest, and he needs to get the robber off his spot.
Can
And
I
he's not
get
doing
your
either of
ore?
those things.
Right.
Oh boy, here we go. Huge turn. There's a monopoly by Sarvit.
Oh my God.
It's huge.
Monopoly and ore?
Monopoly on ore, and she just city last turn too. Oh no.
That's a lot there from Jean.
Oh, this is a big swing turn. Okay, there's at least one city, and she's still reaching for more.
I mean, she has a sheep. She's playing a development card here.
A 5 rolled, and there's a lot of people on the 5 on the 5 producing ore. You can see, and she just immediately snap pounced onto it.
2 cities here.
2 cities?
2 cities.
Oh my goodness, 2 cities, 1 turn. I was just mentioning how big swing turns where you can do 2 things, let alone 2 cities. Oh my goodness. Huge launch, and she's 1 night away from getting largest army. She's already.
Sarvat most likely made one of the best plays in Catan National Championship final history. And as mentioned by our great commentators, Sarvat's strategy to wait to use her Monopoly card was a textbook veteran play, as she built 2 cities in 1 turn. Extremely, extremely difficult to do. It's actually game over at this point, and everyone knows it. All we can hope for is a boatload of 7s to roll. That way we can stop Sarvat entirely from collecting any more resources. And at this juncture of the game, there's only one thing that comes to mind in my head, and that is this beautiful song written by Sugar Ray.
All but locks it in largest army for her.
That's the time I fall in love again.
When it's over.
But I mean,
Let's see the
she
knight.
should have played the
Let's see if
knight.
she plays it. There it
And
is.
she declares
should have
it.
played
She
it
says
before.
that's
I'm gonna
game.
take that, and then I'm gonna build a road.
Road settle.
And
Easy as
Road
that.
settle, there you go.
That gives her 9 points with the largest
right.
army. Closes it out with the road settle.
Wow.
Congratulations.
And Mark pulls a
Thank you.
victory point on the last turn.
Wow, so he was at 8 points, yeah.
So there you have it. Those were the top 3 mistakes from the 2019 National Catan Championship in Toronto, Canada. Live and learn, right? The entire weekend was a blast and an experience I'll never forget. Congrats to Sarvat for winning the championship. Now, since the tournament, obviously there's been a pandemic, and as a result, the 2 trips awarded to the winner, Sarvat, got delayed. Now, I'm not sure if Sarvat ever got to play in Malta, but she did end up playing in Mexico at the America's Continental Championship. And she also got to play against one of everyone's favorite kid actor from Home Alone, Macaulay Culkin. Pretty cool, right? So congrats again to Sarvat for a well-played tournament. Now, if you haven't checked out our Discord and our Patreon page, I highly recommend you do so. There's some really cool perks for our patrons in there. And we're building a really great community of Settlers of Catan friends, and I'd love to have you in there. If you'd like to know how you can make your very own YouTube channel on Catan or any other games that you are passionate about, feel free to check out the tools that I use on a daily in the description below. Now, with that being said, I really hope you enjoyed this video, and subscribe now and hit that little bell notification. That way you can get instant notification every time I publish a video on Catan King. Thanks a lot, my friends. Take care.